going on, ladies and gentlemen? Oh God, I thought I liked this camera placement. Turns out I don't fucking like this camera placement. It's too far fucking forward, dude. See, there we go. Oh, that's it right there. Oh, that's even better. What the fuck's going on, ladies and gentlemen? How the hell are we, dude? Man. It's a weird thing growing up, because see if I can. Oh, I don't want to put a fucking shoe on my bed, dude. We can't put shoes on our bed. Come on now. Let's put this thing on my bed. That's right there. Beautiful, dude. So I had a pretty enlightening experience fucking this weekend. So, I've been spazzing, dude. Like, listen, I spazzed just because, or I was for a while, just because I wanted a girl, and I thought that I needed a girl to be happy, you know what I'm saying? Not to be happy necessarily. Like, I'm chilling by myself, but it makes me super anxious knowing that factor, or at least it did make me super anxious, that knowing that factor was still at play. Like, I don't got a girl. Who the hell am I going to make kids with, you know? Because I'm thinking long term, dude. That's where my mind's always at. It's like, I ain't looking for a girl, dude. I'm looking for a fucking woman. I ain't fucking doing no stupid bullshit. But I went, let's just say, all right, so here's the story. I went to mess around with this biddy, all right? Standard shit that our fucking generation does. And me and this chick we fucked around before, dude. Like when I was drinking all the time and shit. And I knew it wasn't gonna be a good thing. Like, it's not a good thing. And I don't like that hookup culture, dude. I just was letting my mind win at that moment, dude. I had a moment of weakness. All right. And so I won't go over this chick's house, right? We mess around about 30 minutes, dude. And then I'm just like, I don't know why I'm here. Like, I don't want to do this. Because I don't have any attraction to this woman. I know she doesn't have any attraction to me. I don't want to fuck this chick, dude. And so I just fucking threw my shoes back on and left. And she blocked me, which it's like, damn. I understand why she blocked me, dude, because that's kind of like a dick move, you know? Like, go over to this chick's house, hang out, and you end up not doing shit and leaving. I get it, but, like, at the same time, it's like, dude, I'm trying to grow up and mature, and I don't want to be that same person that I've been my entire life, you know what I'm saying? And I know I'm only 21 years old, not that old, but I was an animal. And I'm figuring it out now, and I don't want to fucking be that same person I used to be. And so I was just fucking like, dude, I'm out of here, right? And I've never had that experience before, to be honest. Just because, you know, I went kind of wild when me and Maddie had broken up, and I fucking, you know, I was on the prowl. I was fucking on the prowl just because it was a mix of things. It was because I missed her for a while. I fucking thought I needed a woman. There was a lot of reasons. Fucking, I didn't like being alone for a while. I mean, and then over the course of the few years, I realized how much I actually fucked up. You know what I'm saying? But and listen, here's one of the major factors of the whole thing. I was a nerd, dude. And I still kind of am, obviously. I fucking nerd out about a bunch of fucking weird shit. But, like, females in school and shit, dude, they were never after me like that. Like, oh, look at, I was invisible, dude. Like, and it's kind of cool. It's kind of a cool experience. Now that I can look back on it and I just blended in with everybody, it's kind of like, oh, hell yeah, I didn't peak. I didn't go down to a low. I was just kind of in the background of all the things. But And it works to this day, dude, because me and Adam went to this fucking carnival or whatever in our hometown, this fucking fair or whatever the fuck they had going on in the middle of town. And a whole group of kids we went to school with fucking passed us, dude. They all recognized Adam immediately. I slide through this fucking literally the center of the group like fucking a knife through butter, dude. And I was basically an invisible dude. They didn't recognize me or know me, dude. I just kept walking because I didn't feel like talking anyway, dude. I had nothing to say to these people, but I was still invisible. And I'm like, Adam, that is exactly what the fuck I'm talking about, dude. They don't see me like the way they see Adam. It's weird. It is a weird thing, and I don't completely get it, and I don't know if he completely gets it, but I get it to a certain degree. Like Adam's a super awesome person. Like don't get me wrong, and he's got a lot of cool fucking shit that a lot of people aren't doing. Like he's planning and working his fucking ass off more than most, probably all the people in our generation. I mean, not all, maybe a lot of people. Definitely a lot of people. I won't say all, but definitely a lot of people. He's working his fucking ass off a little harder. And I guess women are drawn to that, which is, I get it, but at the same time, it's a weird energy. I feel like they're drawn to his energy, and I don't know what that energy is yet. I think I'm figuring it out though. I get it. The more I hang out with Adam and the more I talk to him, the more fucking I get his ideas and how he lives his life and his morals, and it just makes sense. And I completely understand it. The more experience I gain, the more knowledge. That's why I've always hung out with that guy, is because he's always been this fucking way. He's always been this solid dude, and he knows where the fuck he wants to be, and he's not gonna stop until he fucking gets there. But it just made me feel dirty, dude. Going to that chick's house. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I don't understand how the fuck our generation does it. Like, how the fuck do we just fuck around and, like, get drunk all the time, go fuck random people? That shit, it doesn't fly with me, man. I ain't that type of motherfucker. Like, like I was saying, I was a nerd, dude. So I was happy to be in the game. Girls never went after me like that. That's why I kind of went on a wild spiral for a while. But now it's like I'm chilling. I don't want to be with nobody until I find somebody who's worth being with, dude. Because a lot of these girls and a lot of guys too. I'm not saying it's just one gender, but fucking a lot of these people out here are not worth fucking settling down with or even trying to have a relationship with, dude. Most people nowadays are run by impulses and run by addictions, and we don't even realize how addicted we are to our phones and to food and to substances and to fucking just all kinds of different shit. Sex, gambling. We're addicted to all kinds of shit. And Chance made me realize I think yesterday actually, that I don't think a society is as fucked up as we think it is. I think we're right where we need to be honest. Because here's my hypothesis, right? Hunter-gatherer perspective. You already know that's how the fuck I'm looking at shit. Hunter-gatherer's perspective, dude. You just are forced to be disciplined. You want food? You want shelter? Do you want water? Do you want to survive? You need to get your ass out there and fucking get that shit. Like that, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Oh, I'm tired. No. Oh, I'm cold. No. There's none of that bullshit. There's not one singular excuse that you would have back in the day that you use today that would work to not going out and getting food, water, or whatever, unless you're like fucking legs broken and you cannot fucking hunt with people, or you're like a woman or a child, because that's who stayed home. Like, there's no fucking excuses. You know what I'm saying? But now, we don't have to be that way. We can survive without fucking discipline, without seeking things that are important. We can survive just fine. Oh, I go to work, I make enough money to survive. But that's not really survival. You're waiting to die. In this day and age, that old biological bullshit of like, oh, sit here, oh, eat all this food, drink all this fucking water, we're running off impulses that's helped us survive back in the day They're running us into the fucking ground now. And that's what's happened. That's the fucking spot that we're at in history right fucking now, is the spot where we have more pleasures than we have discipline. We never have had to train our discipline in the past. And if you look at it, like the baby boomers and the people before them, discipline, discipline. My grandpa was disciplined. My dad was slightly less disciplined. And then my siblings and I are even less disciplined than that. And you see, we're gradually slipping into this fucking cycle of less discipline, less discipline, less discipline, rather than fucking working our. And listen, I'm not saying my dad doesn't work hard. I'm not saying people don't work hard, but our working hard is a lot different than working hard back in the fucking day, dude. Like, working hard back in the day was actual fucking work. Like, climb this fucking tree to get all this food for your family, or fucking go and kill this tiger, or go and fucking kill this bear. That was actual fucking work. Go and catch some fish when you don't know what's in the water. There could be alligators, sharks, there could be fucking anything in that fucking water. You don't know. And that's what I mean, dude. We are in a time where we have to train our discipline and train our minds to not work against us. And people don't realize that yet. Some people are. That's the people who quote unquote wake up. They're just like, oh, I need to go to the gym. I need to fucking eat healthy. Just the normal shit you should be doing already. That's the people who quote unquote woke up, or they know what they're doing, or they have this access to knowledge that is just above every. No, they don't have access to shit. They didn't wake up from nothing. You kind of wake up from the mind's grasp and the mind's bullshit, but it's in us all the time. That's the secret, dude. It's always inside of us. We have the potential to fucking get going right fucking now and stick to something. You have to make it fun, dude. That's the only way it's gonna fucking work. You have to start enjoying whatever the fuck it is, working out, eating healthy, this, that. Find a way to enjoy the things you do not like, but you have to do. Sleeping well. Fucking quit drinking all the time. Fucking doing stupid shit. Jerking off all the time, dude. I had a huge problem with jerking off. I won't fucking lie. I didn't want to talk about it for a long time. Just because I had such a severe problem for a while, dude. I could not figure it out because I was given a phone at a very young age. And you give a boy a phone at a very young age, he's going to start looking for shit. He's going to find titties immediately, dude. It's just how boys are. And I had a severe problem with it for a long time, to where like I couldn't go without doing it. It was like eating, sleeping, or breathing. And now I've gotten to a point where I don't need it. And I'm fucking happy where I'm at, dude, because I've worked really fucking hard to get to this fucking spot. Dude, I was an animal before. I'm not exaggerating. Like, I was ran by impulses, just impulse after impulse after impulse. And the pills I was on as a kid, dude, they helped to suppress those impulses. Like I to a certain degree, obviously. Like, I still did the shit I wanted to do, but like I fucked around. But they helped control bad. Let me think, actually. See, I don't even know if they helped with anything. Now that I'm thinking about it, who the fuck knows? How am I supposed to know? Because I never went through that experience without that medication. And all it did was suppress aspects of myself that came out because I didn't know any better. If you don't know any better and you suppress the aspects rather than teaching this person, oh, you need to know better, then it's like, how am I supposed to know any better? And then as soon as I got off the medication that was prescribed to me, I just went on an impulse spree, dude. Like, whatever felt good to me, food, sex, drugs, anything. Anything that I enjoyed, really, I was all in, dude, for a long, long, long time. And I'm finally starting to fucking figure it out. Like, obviously, there's going to be a lot of more life shit to figure out. There's going to be a lot more things to figure out. But inside my own head and inside my own being, I think that I am figuring myself out. And I'm figuring out who I want to be in this life. I've known who I wanted to be, obviously. I want to be a fucking good dad. I want to be a good husband. I want to fucking be a businessman. I want to fucking make some money. I want to make a decent amount of money to where I'm not worried in life. I knew all these things. I'm trying. I just didn't know how to get there or what I should be doing right now, while I'm trying to get there. And the answer is every day you are building. It's basically like building a sandcastle, one grain of sand at a time. And every day you're putting one piece of sand, boom, boom, boom. And every day this sandcastle's getting bigger and bigger and bigger until you've got a mansion of sand, dude. And that's the fucking part people don't show you. Everybody who gets successful or makes something of themselves, they're like, nah, God had me. I got lucky. I did this one thing and it helped me out. But they were grinding every single fucking day for so goddamn long that even, see, the thing is that most people, like, even if you start something like this, start something like a podcast, yeah, people are interested for a little while. Like, you look at the first few podcasts, they got a decent amount of views, 100, couple hundred, 300, something like that. But then it slowly declined. Oh, 10 views on this one, 20 views on that one. 30's pretty high for me. I get pretty excited when you get 30 on there, just because it's like a classroom of people. I'm like, that's a classroom. I'm chilling with that much. But like it's just a steady grind, because the people who supported it first or support you at first, they'll fall off, because especially if it's a long ass endeavor that you can't really see the end of, people are gonna start being like, okay, he's just doing shit for no goddamn reason now. He's not getting anywhere. They don't see the fucking work that you're doing every single day inside of your own head and inside your own life. Oh, you made your bed today, you did this, you take care of all your responsibilities and all the things you have to do. People aren't seeing all the things you're doing. They're seeing, oh God. What up, buddy?
What's up, dude? On?
Yes, sir.
Uh-oh.
Oh shit, is it gonna turn on? Oh, you did.
They'll hear you off of that one. All right. How far in are you? Am I coming in at the
17 minutes.
Oh, alright, we got time.
I talked to him about the fucking sin that I had done. I talked about my jerking off problem. Dude, I never talked about jerking off on the podcast, strictly because I was so embarrassed about it. Because, dude, it was embarrassing. It was like fucking eating or breathing or sleeping, dude. I needed it. That's what my brain had convinced me over all these years. It's like, no, you have to do it. You can't not do it. Like, you're going to start freaking out. It's like when you don't have Zins or something. Your brain's like, oh, wait, well, what happens this? You know, what if you didn't jerk off and then you get horny at this point? It's like, dude, just accept it how it is. Like, why are you tweaking about it?
Makes you want to chop your wiener off just so you can stop controlling your life.
Dude, I don't think women understand that.
No,
like,
it's a weird mentality. It's like you're switching little brain to big brain, you know?
It is.
It's not a whole lot we could say that hasn't already been said, but yeah.
Most men are ran by their little brains, but then there's men like us who are like halfway ran by it, or like I'd say 25% ran by it.
85.
85. But then you're like, same time, it's like, I wish I could fucking get rid of this thing.
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus Christ.
When you switch to little brain, you're like, thank God I got a wiener. But then when you're in normal mode,
oh my God.
All this thing does is just piss.
Yeah. It pisses and it tricks you. That's all it does.
That's all I really do anyways.
Piss and trick people.
Little chance and big chance aren't very different.
You want to hit this?
Fuck no.
How was it?
It's pretty good, man. Way better, way more relaxed. It's fucking sweet.
Really?
Yep. It's awesome. I like it. The drive's long enough to like almost listen to like, I think it's like I could get like a half hour of Rogies in on the way to work and the way back from work. It's pretty sweet. It's like the perfect amount, because this amount is like bullshit. I spend more time fiddle fucking trying to figure out what song I even want to listen to by the time I get to like your place or my old place, versus just hitting play and letting it play.
It's an awesome experience being able to drive a little white. I mean, it has its downsides like gas and shit, but
I have an office, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Chance Nielsen in a fucking office, dude? That's nice.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Genghis mom.
Genghis mom.
That's crazy, dude. So what do you do, really? Like, what's your actual job?
I'm writing service.
What does that mean?
Like, the mechanics are doing like the work. I'm like the brains of like their blue collarness. I'm like the white collar to their blue collar. I'm hitting all the keys that tell them what they need to do. Otherwise, the person's just dropping off. I'm essentially a glorified secretary for a mechanic with more duties.
Hey man, nothing wrong with that. You're on salary. You're getting paid a decent amount. I started to get scared when
I'm getting trained by a guy that is doing my job, not a guy that owns the fucking business. You know,
he's doing your job.
He's a service writer for the dealership.
Oh.
Versus my old place was just the boss who just wanted to. He didn't even know how it worked. He just wanted to make money.
I forget. I didn't even consider that.
I'm getting trained properly this time.
Yeah.
Last time I was just doing whatever worked.
Yeah. Damn. That's
awesome.
Probably a huge difference.
Yep.
The way I started this podcast scared the shit out of me.
What'd you do?
Just the way what I was talking about. Dude, that's why I understand when like people don't want to come on here, or like you're like, ooh, don't fucking put my name out there, or I wish I didn't say that, because it's like, dude, I think that all the fucking time. Just my brain also is like impulse. It's just like, well, here it goes.
Yeah.
And then I just fucking duck down and get nervous, dude. I'm like, I guess I try not to think about it, just because it scares me. I don't know who's gonna watch it. I just hope something comes of it. I like doing them too. They're fun.
You want to think that people will never find it, and then you also want to think like your future employers won't find it. But theoretically, you making these is so that you don't have a future employer that needs to check anything.
Well, now that we're talking about it, future employers,
because they'll run your name, and if your name pops up on the internet, they'll click on it and they'll see, holy shit, what are we at, like 200 videos of
177.
Woo, baby, we're coming up on 200.
Realistically, I don't really give a shit. Because who am I trying to impress?
Preach, brother.
Who are you trying to impress here, dude? We're just trying to fucking make a decent living out here.
No, but if
pay our bills.
I'm saying like, yeah, you don't care, but if you needed a job and that employer was running a check, like an internet digital footprint check on you,
if
and
they
clicked on a video and you were like, you're fucking gay, and then it ripped the Benjamin, they'd be like, well.
I'd probably not want to work there anyway.
Listen, they didn't find mine, so.
If somebody fucking finds my pod and they're like, I'm not hiring you because of your podcast.
They didn't find mine. You think my office is slick? You should have seen one of the kids I was in orientation with, because we had to go to Clear Lake. At like 11, I went to Brit. Mm-hmm. But until then, this one kid, like fresh out of college, looked younger than I am. Short. He got a corner office on the second room in the second floor in Pritchard's, like glass office. Like I still have to talk to the customers and do all like the gritty stuff, the work. This dude is like, I thought it said like, he already had his name placard outside of his door in glass, like engraved in glass. As we're going through orientation, we were walking, he's like, yep, this is this. James, this is your room. And it says like, James something, cash flow accountant or something like that. I was like, I just went, beast. And he just like smiled, yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. So he actually got out of college and got a job. So I wonder how many. Everybody else there was just like, one dude was definitely a lube mechanic because that guy was dumb as shit. The other guy, I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, I will be a parts manager. I was like, oh, cool. He had worked in the business for like 6 years. And then the other kid must have been some sort of accounting genius. Straight out of college, getting hired.
Well, it's probably kind of like your friend Kyle, dude.
That is
the
true.
fact that he got a job at SpaceX, dude.
So, bro, I wonder if it's saved on Snapchat. Because he sent me a picture of just a living room with a TV on the ground and like a lawn chair in the middle of the room.
Give him context.
Yeah.
Genius guy.
Kyle's super smart, big gearhead like I am, so he really likes cars. Now, my Snapchat's deleted. We go to Formula Drift with him, and you can find that short on the channel and whatnot. But regardless, like one of my best friends, if not my best friend from Wisconsin. And so he sent me a picture of just the TV on the ground in the living room, the chair in there. And he's like, he said like move complete or something like that. And I was like, oh, well, shit, you bought a house? Like, I started getting hyped for him because it's like, holy shit, Kyle's moving up. Kyle got a fucking house, dude. And he's like, oh, you might be kind of far behind. And I was like, yeah, I'm lost. What happened? You buy a house? And he's like, no, I live in Texas now. I was like, what? And he started typing, and I was like, it's gonna be like you typing, where it takes 10 fucking minutes for him to type out everything. So I just called him, and he's like, yeah, I moved down to Texas, man. So Kyle, when he was like younger in his teenage years or something, I can't remember exactly what, but he was like top 3, I want to say, in the world at go-kart racing. So he's like a solid ass driver, like really fucking good. And then what he was doing at MSOE, his college in Milwaukee, was he was like head or something. I know he was the driver, but an engineer or something for the hybrid race team. They would like build hybrid like race cars. They're not like super fast or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Building hybrid race cars on a budget and whatnot, and then take it against a whole bunch of other schools across the country.
Damn.
And they headhunted him.
What grade was this?
This grade, like senior year of college. Yeah, they headhunted him out of like the entire group, found him, gave him the job, and then he's relocated his whole life. He sold his Subaru. You remember his Subaru?
Mm-hmm.
Sold it. Got an F-150 with a
shit.
blower on it. It makes like 700 horsepower.
Oh,
Ripping, dude.
This is how it starts.
This is how it starts.
He started it. He's like, I got a fat check coming, dude. I'm getting a nice.
I honestly think he probably did that before he moved to Texas. I think.
That's goated.
I think he just neglected to tell me that part. He neglected to tell me all this. That's why I called his ass. But that's just how the bros operate sometimes.
Dude, we got to go to Texas.
That's what I told him. I was like, the moment I tell Cody you're in Texas, he's going to want to come down there.
Well, I wanted to go.
I asked him how far away he is from Austin. It's 5 hours.
Well, I just want to go because it's the last stand, dude.
Yeah. He's at the southernmost point. On
Really?
The bottom.
And
On the bottom of Texas.
What's it feel
Warm
like?
as fuck. A lot of Mexicans.
That's crazy. Lot of Mexicans.
I was like, have you had the food yet? And he's like, not really. And I was like, I bet it's insane. I was like, I bet by the time I come down there, he's probably got like a Mexican joint that's insane.
That's wild. That's a crazy experience to have.
Yep.
He's our age too, isn't he?
I was yelling at him. I was like, holy shit. Kyle, you fucking made it. Oh my God. I just kept saying congrats. I was just happy for him, bro.
He's our age, isn't he?
Yeah.
That's wild.
He's my age, so he's a little older than me.
Because now he's just going to be moving up throughout the company if he does it correctly.
Yeah, I think they got him working like a dog. They probably got him working like 70 hours a week or something. But I just told him, I was like, bro, if you can do it, you're on the right path if you can pull through this bullshit real quick. You got to expand your brain and get to learning. But
that's crazy.
Working on rockets.
Oh,
literal. He's not a rocket scientist, but like
that's close.
Even to be in the vicinity of them,
getting
is kind of
very close.
Kind of crazy.
He's at least
good job, Kyle. If you're watching, you fucking piece of shit.
he's at least a pre-junior rocket scientist.
Yeah, pre-K.
Because he's an engineer.
Pre-K scientist.
And like Bob Lazar was an engineer that made a rocket jet on his Honda. That's basically rocket science. So an engineer can do it.
That's wild, man.
And Kyle, I bet, could do it.
I forgot to even, like, I had stuff going on. I called you later. I was like, oh, yeah, I got to call Cody.
That's wild.
Because he told me that I had nobody to tell. Because I was, like, in Mason busy. And then I was like, holy shit, I got to call Cody. Why you got to call Cody?
I was wondering.
You'll hear.
I was wondering. I was like, what the hell?
Like, why you got to call him? I was like, just listen. You'll understand.
Sometimes I'm not in the best mindset on the weekends either. Dude, I was spazzing a couple days and then I was fine. Now I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm just chilling. I haven't been this good in a long fucking time in my own head.
Yeah, me neither, to be honest. It's pretty chill.
Dude, we're chilling.
It's about time we did some fucking.
We don't have girls, but
development. Well, maybe that's why we're feeling good too.
That's probably why. I'm waiting, dude. I don't need one until I can find a good one. Because I don't want to fuck around anymore. I don't think I can.
Yeah.
Just because if I don't have a connection with somebody, I don't feel right about going and sleeping with them or doing anything. Like we can go and fucking go out to eat or something. We can do anything but that. But I don't want to do that. And also, most of these people, it's like that's probably why I couldn't do anything with this chick that I was with this weekend because, dude, this is how the fucking thing went. All right, we're sitting there.
Now it's time for your story.
She starts fucking telling me all the things that are going on in Stranger Things, which Stranger Things is a great show, right?
Like the new part of Stranger Things or like the old one? She's giving you the full.
She restarted it, and
oh my god, she's giving you the full background.
Well, she was probably on like season 2 or something.
Are you
and she was giving me
details?
some of it, yeah.
Okay.
And she was basically trying to catch me up. But like in Stranger Things, dude, I watch it with Tony and Thomas. It's a pretty good show.
Yeah, no, it's good.
It's a pretty good show.
I'm trying to smash, lady. What are we talking about? Right
well, I knew I could smash, but the thing is, dude, I'm just sitting here listening to what she's saying, and I'm like, this is not interesting me at fucking all, dude. Like,
you have to.
If I'm gonna watch a show, I'm just gonna watch the fucking show. I don't want to hear any background. I don't want to hear shit. Even if I start on season 3, I'm just gonna fucking start watching and figure out is this his dad? Okay, it's his dad.
All right, Googling instead of.
That's what I'm saying. I just start asking questions when I need to ask questions. But I was like, this is not interesting me. And then I realized that it's just I don't have a connection with this person. I don't like this person in that manner, and I'm not interested in even talking to this person, let alone doing anything else with this person.
Your little head got you into the house, but your big head got you out.
Dude, and it made me feel bad because I know I felt.
And then you literally realized, you literally went, I walked in there with my dick and left with my brain. What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I can't.
Yeah.
It's like my dick shut off, dude.
It's like your brain.
And my brain
your
finally
brain shut off. You went there. Brain turned on. Dick shut off.
My full brain kicked back in now. It's like, okay, dick is not part of brain.
This is not a good situation.
That's what it was, dude. It's like that horniness had attached itself to my brain as if it was like, oh, eat, okay, I eat, okay, sleep, I sleep, okay,
like
I fuck, I
it's
fuck.
Impulse control.
Uh-huh. But it's weird. Here's what the fuck I was talking about before you came in here, dude. Before, like, as a hunter-gatherer, like we were talking about the other day, you had to be disciplined to survive. Like, it doesn't matter, unless you're, like, fucking legs broken, you can't move, your family has to bring food to you until you're better. Like, there's no, oh, I'm sick, oh, I'm cold. No, you're fucking I'm tired. No, you're getting your ass out there. You need to get food, dude. You need to eat. You need to get water. And you need to fucking survive. But nowadays, your survival is I go to work, I get just enough money, I can afford food, I can afford all the things I need. And that's where people cut it off.
Yeah.
And that's where our impulses trick us into, like, our old survival instincts are like, oh, eat more food. Oh, do more of this, do more of that. Make yourself feel better. But it's a cycle of sadness that you don't realize you're getting yourself into. And that's why I think I realized, dude, our society's not as fucked up as I've been looking at it as. It's just we're in a time, we're right where we fucking should be, I think, in a time where we're just now learning discipline is important. Yeah. We need to learn that shit. And that's why all these people are becoming popular, like Rogan and Goggins and all these other people.
Well, perspective is really everything. And that's another cool thing about Rogan and Goggins and all that is they have all these people. Like Goggins trains, like he trained Israel Adesanya, he trains all these people. People go through his programs and watch it. And then Rogan has like a bunch of other people on the podcast and you can learn all their perspectives. But then you narrow it down to just your perspective on it. How do you view things and how do you feel about them? That's the one thing you can control.
That's what I've noticed when I don't listen to podcasts for a long time is like your perspective starts to shrink back down.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's necessary to have these different, like I have my dad and we have our families and shit, but like...
I had one today. I'll give you a real example. Is like my perspective when I was at the other shop, my previous shop, was like everybody that came in kind of seemed like a little trashy and not in the greatest mood. Dude, everybody I talked to that walked into the Ford place today was happy as a clam, didn't bat an eye at $1,000 price tags, just happy as fuck.
That's awesome.
And so that was a perspective change because it was like, damn, everybody that comes into auto shops is having a fuck ass day and they hate me. And then today I was like making people happy. Yeah, I was like, oh shit.
It's because you're in a small town where people don't have much money to begin.
Have you been to Britt?
No. That's a small town too, though.
It's like the size of Forest City, bro.
I forgot about that.
It's like a little smaller for sure.
Is it like, does it look classier though?
It looks like Garner.
I've never really been there.
It looks like bigger Garner.
When I was
almost.
A kid.
It might
Are
be
there nice houses and shit?
It's like Garner where it'll be like shit house, good house, good house, shit house, good house, good house. But like the strip is like Garner where there's like that movie theater and like a bunch of random shops and all that. Yeah, it's weird. I just drove through. Northwood I had to take a vehicle back today. I'm already doing that.
Really?
Yeah. So I had to drive through Britt and figure it out.
See, I'd trust you to drive a vehicle for the first time. Me, I don't know.
It was a little, brakes were a little touchy. Took a second to get used to. You know what it was? Dodge Durango.
Really?
Yeah.
The old Durango. My mom had one of those when we were kids.
Yeah, not that one. The one you're thinking of is like the fucking worst.
The old SUVs.
This is a new one, yeah. Jesus Christ. Yeah,
those
you guys had essentially like the Chrysler version. They only really made, those things are terrible. Most people forget that those versions of Durangos even exist. What year was it? Do you remember?
Dude, I was probably like 4 years old.
Because they have like a weird looking, they look weird.
It's Probably early 2000s, early 90s, or
'cause
late 90s, early 2000s.
It's got to be like early 90s almost. 'Cause
Maybe.
these are early 2000s, and
Go to early 90s, probably.
Yeah.
You're probably right, because if I was like 3-4 years old, it's probably early 90s.
Or was it called something else? I think it might have been called something else. Do you remember?
Search up.
It's that weird ass looking Chrysler, like Durango looking thing.
Search up original Dodge Durango, because I know it was a Dodge Durango.
Oh, I just saw the rear end of it. It's that one
Yeah.
right there.
No. Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's definitely your old one.
Is it a Dodge?
Chrysler Aspen.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what my dad used to have.
Oh, okay, this is the one I thought we were talking about. Yeah.
No.
Was that fucking ugly thing? I thought that was a Durango.
My dad did have that, though.
Just the ugliest Chrysler known to man.
Search up an old or original Dodge Durango. My mom had that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
those
I actually
fucking
I like these ones.
Yeah.
These are kind of tanks. One of the guys we used to work on one of those. I mean, they're piles of shit, but they keep going.
My buddy and I put a, or not my buddy and I, my brother and I put a stuffed horse on top, and my mom started driving. We were laughing, let go of it, fucking flies off, dude. We never saw that stuffed animal again.
Like a small one or like a big
A
one?
giant fucking stuffed horse, dude. You couldn't miss it, dude.
It'd be fun to just walk out in the woods one day and that thing's just staring back at you like, you left me. God.
That'd be crazy. No, that'd be scary, dude. Anything in the woods is kind of scary.
It's waiting for you at Lime Creek next time, dude.
I don't like that.
Be honest.
Actually, thank you. What's weird about that, dude? I was literally just thinking about asking you, and I was debating in my head if I was gonna ask you or not.
Oh,
and
for
then
punishment?
and then you're like, you want this? I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, I've been hogging it. Haven't ripped it all day, dude. Working. I wish I couldn't cough. Working really makes your mental a lot better.
It just gives you
I've been
something
battling
to do.
demons for 3 weeks, dude. Fucking, I started playing Cyberpunk.
I was wondering, because last night you're like, Cyberpunk. I was like, I know exactly what that means.
I got re-addicted, so it's gonna be doing another playthrough. This time, I'm gonna do the ending where V just takes on Aristo's tower all by himself. If you know, you know.
I don't know.
You don't know.
Dude, I was wondering, because you hit it pretty well, I'll give you that. Because I kind of felt it a little bit, but...
Well, we kept bouncing off of each other, because you'd come home in a shitty mood, and I'd been in a shitty mood for 2 fucking weeks.
That's true.
And then I'd be like...
I don't know what the fuck was my problem for a while, dude.
Might just been going through it. Or we've had these awakenings recently, so maybe we needed to hit a valley like that for a little bit in order to peak again, you know?
Yeah.
And it might be going back down here in a little bit, and then it'll probably come back up.
Dude, that mushroom vape, that allegedly, not this one. I mean, allegedly this is a mushroom vape. It's just nicotine, but...
It's a vape shaped like a mushroom.
Muscimol is an Amanita muscaria mushrooms, dude, and it fucks with the GABA A receptor.
That's what gabapentin does.
That's what, rather than the serotonin. Yes.
Ooh, hand that over.
That's what it does.
I used to be addicted to GABAs. I love that.
And
you
it
know
just,
what the GABA receptors are?
It just makes you sedative. It's sedative.
GABA receptors are essentially, I think Xanax reacts with your GABA receptors.
Probably. It just makes you more calm and euphoric. I mean, it doesn't make you feel like you're tripping or nothing. It just kind of makes you feel calm and at peace. You're just kind of in the present moment. I mean, if you hit it enough times, it starts to feel like a mild, like, microdose, but it's nothing crazy.
Yeah, interacts with GABA A receptors.
Mm-hmm. I just looked it up today.
What does gabapentin react to the GABA receptors?
Oh, that was Xanax?
That was Xanax, yeah. Gabapentin is obviously GABA receptors, but yeah. Gabapentin kind of does voltage, because gabapentin it's an anti-neuropathy drug, which means if you have seizures, it stops you.
What does
from
it
having
mess with?
seizures. So it messes with like the electricity in your body, basically.
What
It
the
stops
fuck?
From spazzing, because your nervous system runs off of electricity.
That's a weird drug to be giving somebody.
Isn't it weird that you can put something in your little brain blocks that fucks with the voltage in your...
Yeah, no, you
Your
probably
human
shouldn't be giving that to a human.
I was addicted to it, dude. They gave us giant pill bottles. I would take like 6 a day. It was like 3 throughout the day for anxiety, and then like a sedation dose at the end that was like 3 at night at the same time.
So you get the most for me, dude. I was doing 2 Falkland pills a day, which was
I wonder what they put
dexmethylphenidate.
that in. I wonder what the glycerol is or whatever.
It's vegetable glycerin, I think.
Okay. Kind of tastes like it. The aftertaste is really.
It just
good.
tastes like a normal fucking vape. But at my height, like the most pills I took a day were like 6, but it was 2 for Falkland dexmethylphenidates, 1 Intuniv, which I don't know what the fuck that was. Just helped me
Intuniv?
sleep. Intuniv, yeah.
That's
But
probably
then-
like the brand name for something.
Probably.
Sounds like a brand name.
Yeah. But then the other ones were painkillers that I was taking for when I had my braces put on. So I was taking ADHD meds and painkillers at the same time, which is insane,
You
dude.
don't want me to break my
Uppers and
down,
downers, dude. That's what you're not supposed to mix.
They fucked us both up on pills. They fucked you up from a young age, like a young age on that methamphetamine.
Well, you weren't that far behind. Or
I wasn't
ahead
that
of
far
me.
behind.
I was like 7 or 8, 9.
No, I was like 13, I think. So I was twice as far away from you. But yeah, it was fluoxetine, which is fluoxetine and Lexapro are like the same thing, but they're kind of different. Fluoxetine is like an antidepressant, but it's technically like a little bit of a stimulant, so that can make your anxiety worse. And then Lexapro is not a stimulant, but it's an anti-anxiety. Both SSRIs.
See, neither one helps either because
No, they don't. They
if
just
you're
numb you
not
out.
dealing with your anxiety, then
It gets better.
it's
though.
always going to come.
Abilify, 5 milligrams of that, I think, and that's a mood stabilizer. That's like the shit that like Marty's probably on. Is that like numbs you out to the max.
That's wild.
Propranolol was like a blood pressure dropper for panic attacks,
Mhm.
so it would like force your body to calm down during a panic attack. Prazosin was like the night terror blocker. For some reason, 1 milligram of prazosin stops you from dreaming or having nightmares, which figure out the science on how they figured that out. If we give them 1 milligram of this, they stop having.
That's like
And they go-
Hypnosil from Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, where it stops Freddy from being able to get you.
Yep.
They made it into a real thing.
And then gabapentin we talked about, and then trazodone. And I still have some trazodones, I think, but that's those were 50 milligram doses. That's for sleep, but they only really work for like 4 hours. So if you're like a hardcore insomniac who can't sleep, you're only going to sleep for like 4 hours, and that doesn't really do much. So they needed me to take the gabapentin because that'll numb you out for like 9 hours, 8 hours, so that the trazodone knocks you out and the gabapentin keeps you asleep.
That's crazy because that means that
Prazosin stops you from dreaming.
mushrooms have the capability to help cure cancer, help cure viruses, bacteria that's inside of you.
When did you start spreading fake news?
They have the power to fucking help with serotonin and send you on a spiritual journey with psilocybin. They have the ability to act like Xanax or gabapentin with Amanita muscaria with the muscimol. That is insane. All these natural things. And can you look this up or ask?
Penis envy. You got the blue tips.
Can you? You have Grok?
Yeah, I got Grok. Who the fuck do you think?
You have the voice version.
I don't know. I got Twitter. Here's what I got.
That's what you need right there, bud.
Oh, I gotta install another one. Okay.
This one's the good one because it's got a voice now. It's weird, but
10 million. Dang.
what I wonder. What was I wondering?
Don't know. What do you want? Something about mushrooms.
Oh yeah, just go to the voice version. Is it downloaded?
Yeah, this is it.
Sign in. Are you signed into
I
Twitter?
don't fucking know. Yeah, I'm signing into Twitter, but not the voice
Yeah,
version.
sign in with that. I'm sorry, dude. It has to be the voice version
Oh
because
my
it makes it.
goodness!
It's gonna make it so much simpler. We won't even have to read it.
It's not working. I got an error. Please retry.
Fuck, dude. Oh well. It doesn't matter. But
Never
just
mind.
ask it, text it. I heard that natural remedies like cinnamon, honey, garlic, onions are beneficial for their vitamin C and have proven to be effective when thought not to be. Is this true? Because all these natural remedies that people used to use and that were switched out for medicine, for pharmacy grade medicine, it's like we don't need this. And I feel like Big Pharma would make a lot less money if we started using this shit.
Contrary to mainstream. Antioxidant and antimicrobial properties, anti-inflammatory effects, immune support, blood sugar digestion, vitamin C, iron. Cinnamon also has a little bit of vitamin A, a little manganese. Together, they're immune boosting remedy. They fight colds or flus.
Yeah. So it does work.
Limited clinical evidence, overstated claims, safety concerns. Okay.
Safety concerns? I'd rather take some cinnamon than fucking pop a Xanax.
You did almost overdose on cinnamon that one time, though.
Dude,
yeah,
I forgot about that.
you got like, you died off cinnamon.
Well, I just felt like I was gonna throw up.
Yeah.
My mouth just started salivating and shit. But I still like it. What was cinnamon zins, dude?
Citizens.
Why don't you like them?
Interesting.
You don't like the taste of cinnamon?
No.
Why?
Hot spicy.
How do you not like hot spicy?
Or it's like, no, it's like hot mint. Hot spice is spice. It's like the word doesn't. Hot spicy is, you could just say spice. It's like,
you've never had cinnamon sugar?
cinnamon is like, well, mint is cold spicy. Yeah, I've had cinnamon sugar. Cinnamon sugar on some butter bread is decent, but that's cinnamon sugar.
Decent.
You're over here like, let me put a quarter-inch of cinnamon in this fucking coffee real quick and see what goes on.
Remember
And
when
then
I was
like,
on the kick of putting it in the beef?
yeah, it was pissing me the fuck off.
Why
Already just making
did
me.
you say nothing?
All I'm eating is
All you have
just,
to do is tell me to stop, dude.
it's hard ass rice with too much fucking. Somehow it's hard with too much water in it, and then you got fucking beef with dessert chemicals on it.
Dude, I was
You got
trying to
fucking
figure
cinnamon on my
Dessert
fucking beef,
chemicals.
dude. I'm eating bullshit ass ground beef and fuck up rice, and I'm getting pissed off about it.
I was trying to figure it out, but it was an accident
We gotta
at first.
get chicken legs again because that shit was actually banging.
It was an accident at first putting the cinnamon on,
Yeah,
dude,
and then you
but
did
then
it
I
again.
kind of liked it.
Yeah.
My brain was like,
It's never an accident. You picked up the fucking cinnamon and put it in there. Don't lie. to
Well,
me.
no, I meant to put cumin in at first. And the cumin looked like the cinnamon, so I just grabbed the cinnamon, started putting it in, and I read the bottle, I'm like, fuck. And then I was like, okay, hopefully nobody notices. I stirred it around, smelled a little bit of cinnamon, and tasted it. I'm like, that's kind of good, actually. Like, I better
hate
put
you,
more
too.
in there.
I fucking hate you.
I kind of liked it,
You're
dude.
like, it's good how it is. Let's add more. Fuck you. Cinnamon.
That's my problem, probably.
You
It's
add
good
so
how it
much,
is. Let's
yeah.
add a bunch
You
more.
add a
That doesn't
fuck.
work.
Yeah, the problem is you cook like a black person, but your food isn't good like black people food.
What?
Your food's good. It's
This
just
is
not like
news to me, dude.
you haven't whipped out no collard greens yet.
I don't even know what that is.
See, because you're not even black, dude.
I'm white,
Just
dude.
cook like 'em.
I'm the whitest black guy out there.
Or yeah,
Why'd you clip that on your dick, dude?
because this is where I like to rest my hands. And this seemed good, and I thought it would be kind of funny.
I was looking for it, and then I seen it on your dick. I was like, I can't even look at it, because now it's gay as shit.
If
I
you guys look at
over
this
there the
microphone, can
mic.
they see it?
You guys are.
I can't see anything
fags.
because the lantern's right in front of it. Can they see it? Oh, they can't.
You guys are gay as shit, dude. You guys looked at his penis,
Got the wiener mic on for today.
and I bet you don't even have socks on.
I bet they do got socks on. If you don't have socks on, look around and make sure everybody's got socks on and address the problem if it exists.
So you go back tomorrow to Brit?
Yep, and then Thursday, Friday, I'm actually in Garner.
That's weird because normally you start
I think I'm just,
orientation. You do orientation for a few days. I didn't expect you to
I
be
did
gone for
orientation.
so long. To be
I did
honest,
orientation for like 2 hours. It was
That's
from like
wild.
9 to 11. Well, I was the first one out of there. Everybody else couldn't figure their shit out on their computer. I figured mine out immediately and then just sat there for like 20 minutes. And then the guy was like, well, I can let you out. You're good. So
people didn't know how to work the computer.
we had like, they were calling IT people and getting IT people to come
What
up there.
the
Meanwhile,
fuck?
I'm just sitting there like,
I'm down.
do I go home or do I go to work? No, like, you go to work. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Although I wanted to go home. But anyways. And then I went to work and it was actually pretty fucking slick, dude. I like that place.
It's a good thing you weren't pissy all day because you had to go work instead of. I would have been thinking that I would have been getting out after orientation because that's how I've been with most
No.
jobs.
I had it in the back of my mind that I was like, they probably sent me to fucking work. Unless I had two things. I was like, the orientation is either an 8-hour orientation somehow, or they're sending me to work afterwards. I was like, the orientation either takes all day and tomorrow's my first day on site, or they're sending me.
See, when I went to Martin Brower, dude, it was like 3 days, and the last, or no,
This is a
I
pretty
think the
general,
whole first week was orientation.
This is a pretty general orientation because this was like a tech, a service advisor, a parts manager, another tech, and like an office lady, and that's it. It was just
Fuck.
us 5.
I left my Zins in the truck.
Yeah, I got some.
This one's stale.
Just slide me one when you get a second.
Bet. I just gotta go get them. I thought that to myself earlier. You want one of my Zins?
Yeah, I'll take all of them.
See if I can get you. Did I tell you about the wood incident at work on Friday?
Yeah, you did.
When the guy was like, "Did you pick any good wood?"
And Willie or whatever the fuck his name is.
But
Willie
yeah,
Wally,
but that doesn't matter.
he already picked out the wood.
Yeah,
you just
I told him
measured
that today. I was
you
like,
had
you know,
to go,
Willie
you had
actually
to go to pick out your truck, and all you were doing is measuring it, and then he got pissy because they were bent and shit.
Well, I don't think he was really pissy. Just the way he says things, sometimes it comes off as, oh, he might be mad.
That's blue collar dudes for you.
Yeah, they just say things in a certain manner.
I had 9 of those today. So.
But today, he came out. He was like, "Guess what, Cody?" I was like, "What?" I was like, "He's like, after you left, I went over there to measure some boards and started looking at them. They're all fucking shit." I was like, "That's what I was gonna tell you, dude." And also, Willie was the one who picked those out. I just was ready to go pick up my truck, so I didn't say shit. This is why I like fucking working in jobs like this, because a lot of the time I've never had it like this where most of the people like there's a few people I can't like say everything to, like, oh, I've fucking done all these drugs before,
Yeah.
but there's some people who know from what, like I went to school with them or something, but like people at Bago, like Dale, you can't just go and talk to Dale about anything, but then there's people that you can talk to about stuff, like we met each other there, we can talk about almost, but
also it's not their wallet either. Like, you're not hurting them. Dan finding crooked wood is like, I didn't fucking pay for the wood. I don't care that it's crooked. I'm just gonna tell somebody it's crooked.
It was Josh, but
yeah, same thing. Did they get the one guy back yet? I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
Who's that?
The guy that quit after not wanting to do the punch list.
No, he never came back. He went to work at a different place.
Yeah, we'll see.
But
Eric's just got to stack bread until he gets a truck.
yeah, I just like that there's people, like, you may get a little heated, like things get, that's how we are too. That's what I'm trying to say essentially, is people like us. We get a little heated sometimes, like, or stern with each other, like, no, you fucking retard. And we don't even mean to sometimes.
Dumbass.
But we know that, oh, it's just this guy, he said it this way. He's not trying to attack me. That's how, with most people, it feels like they're trying to, like, attack the shit out of me. And I don't know what their intention is, or if they're trying to play a game with me, try to be better than me. That's why I don't really like adults as much as I like kids and animals. Because I know kids and animals aren't trying to play with me. Like, not most adults probably aren't either, but adults have tried to play with me. And
kids and animals probably are trying to play with you.
But they're trying to play in a pure way. They're just trying to have a good time.
You're talking about like fucking with you.
Fucking with your brain.
Yeah.
Like trying to deceive you or manipulate you or gain something from you.
They'll just be mean to you because they had a rough day or something like that. You never know. The easiest way is just to kill them with kindness. If they just keep being mean to you and you just keep being nice to them, it's going to make you feel better because you're like, this person's fucking crazy.
That's true.
Is nice to them. And then you can come home and be like, I was so nice to this person today.
Most
and
of the
they
time,
were so mean.
if you kill it with kindness, then they just like chill the fuck out. They're
That's
like,
why
okay.
that's the strategy. They'll either chill the fuck out or you'll just be dealing with an insane person.
Yeah, it's like, this guy looks retarded.
Have a very nice day, ma'am. Fuck you. And a lovely evening.
You made me think about the shop chick at Forest City Auto again.
Go get her number, dude.
I don't want her number anymore. She
Tell
wasn't
her-
bad for her age.
She was asking about me, so tell her it's mine and then let it be yours. And just catfish her as me, and then when she shows up, it's you.
That would be a pretty good con, though. She probably wouldn't care.
She'd probably fall for
But the thing is, I'm sure she's a great woman, and she looks great for her age. But I don't want that. She's past having kids, dude. That is not my kind of woman.
Bro, she's getting biopsies to tell if she has skin cancer and getting her
Getting
back
back
fused.
surgery. She's way past that age. I can't wait to be that age, personally. Just because, yeah, my body's falling apart.
I
But
hope
that's
I got shit figured out by that age. I hope I'm still not busting my ass with my body falling apart.
Did you see that fucking thing I found on Twitter the other day that I posted, dude? The downside of not locking in is spending the rest of your life clocking in.
Oof.
That's a good one.
Oof. That's like one of them Adam tattoos.
Mm-hmm. You lock in now. Because
Yeah,
most people...
that's like the suffer now or suffer later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because most people are choosing to suffer later.
Yep.
And it's not going to be good.
I think we're doing both. But yeah, we're majority now.
That's why I'm choosing to talk about porn and the shit that I've gone through, dude. Because I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
I got to this spot and you got to this spot because it took us a long fucking time, dude.
Yep.
And we're still grinding every fucking day.
That's what I'm saying. Is it's still going.
That's the thing. Yeah, you're right. Because if we just stopped right here, like I stopped going to the gym, we stopped working, we're going to lose everything we have. Our house, fucking, I'm going to lose my muscle. We're going to lose our brains if we stop learning. It's a constant fucking, it's like making a sword or something. Constantly sharpening that blade. Yeah.
Very Kaizen.
Yeah.
Kaizen.
Constantly perfecting it.
Even if it's just a fraction of a percent each day, just over a lifetime. Sharpening a stone into a sharp sword, you know?
I really like that. That's exactly how it should be. That's how school should try to teach us.
Yep.
Because they teach us in a way that's like, you need to learn right now, and then you have to take this test, and that's it. It should be, okay, every day you're learning something more and more and more and more until you're better. That's how my dad describes how his schooling was in his country.
It's
like
how
you
it
use,
That's
you're
probably
bound.
how it was before they fucked it all up in order to make the factory workers.
Probably.
J.D. Rockefeller or whatever. When he bought the school board or whatever the fuck. You remember that conspiracy, right? I'm not alone on this. J.D. Rockefeller bought some the Department of Education or whatever, and then they implemented like bells and everything to make them more oriented.
Before that, it came from either Lithuania or something, or
and isn't
Greece.
It just people in shacks teaching like basics, and then?
Well, it was to make obedient soldiers for the armies.
Oh, okay. So it's
and then it got transferred to make obedient factory workers, which is not.
Your dad's is different.
My dad's, his knowledge, like the way his school, like I don't know how your school was, but for me, it felt like school. You learn a bunch of shit, take a test. Forget all that shit. Now you're gonna learn all this shit.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Then you take another test, and then you learn different shit. It's never like, okay, this shit deals with this shit. Like math, for example, you learn geometry, algebra 1, or it goes pre-algebra, geometry, algebra 1, algebra 2. It's not
calculus, stats.
I suppose you are learning and using some of the things you used previously. But it's almost a whole completely different thing, you know what I'm saying? The way they teach it. My dad's
math is kind of Kaizen, because math is like you need to learn how to multiply in second grade in order to be able to.
See, math's probably a bad example.
But what is a good example is
science.
My argument is finance. They should be teaching us how to pay rent when we are young, or like how to pay taxes when we are young. That way, like. We do it every year throughout school, and we get more and more in depth in it. And then when we're an adult, we don't get thrown out where you're like, oh, Mom, how do I file taxes?
Well, I agree with that. If we're what I was talking
now,
more.
The way it's not Kaizen is it's just like a couple years, if that, through high school, and it's like a 1 semester class.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
what I was more talking,
play the stock market.
What I was more talking was like, and yeah, you're right. It's like a 1 semester class. But also, like, science is a good example because it's not all connected. Like, there's biology and then there's anatomy. It's all different classes, but if you look at it all, it's all part of the same. It's all nature, you know?
Yeah,
and they don't connect it in that way. That's how my dad's school did it. They connect it all. Oh, you learn, in grade 1 you learn this, and then you use all that stuff you used in grade
English
1
to find the language for the scientific shit, and then to make the scientific calculations, you need the math.
That's our problem in America. We separate all these things. It's
very compartmentalized.
Yes. Even our days are compartmentalized. I wake up. I go to work. I do this. Instead of one long
drive time, work time.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea of how they used to wake up in the middle of the night for like an hour or whatever, and then go back. How they used to have like dual sleepers. I always thought that was kind of neat because I think it would be like dope to wake up at like, okay, say we go to bed at like 6 and you sleep for like 4 hours or 5 hours, you wake up at like 11:30, you know, you got 5.5 hours, which ain't bad. And then you're just like, let me read a book for an hour. Let me get super in the zen. Nothing's happening in the outside world. It's literally dead midnight. And you're just like, oh. And then you go to bed because you're tired and it feels good to go to bed again. Then you sleep for another 5 hours.
Here's a way that I've experienced that without doing it in the middle of the night. You know that chick that you've been keeping up on Rogan's Pods?
Yeah.
You know that chick that was on there,
Somewhat. The boring
Can you
ones
pull
are
up his
really
pods?
Yeah.
I gotta remember her name. Go down. She's pretty recent.
Adrian, Jesse Michaels, Bono.
It's a chick. But she's pretty recent.
Amanda Knox?
No.
Guy Fieri?
Right
Rebecca
there.
Lin-
Rebecca
Oh,
Lemon.
I did listen to this one.
She's a historian of science. And she was talking about how she's had a meditation practice her entire life just because it's brought her so much.
Oh, yeah, this is like that genius hippie lady.
Yeah. You know, remember her? How she was talking about her meditation practice and how
she's very humble.
You remember how she talks about how it gives her she doesn't require as much sleep as she did before? You know what I'm saying? Like if she's really tired, she'll sleep.
Mm-hmm.
But if she meditates, she doesn't require as much sleep. I've noticed that now, dude, because the reason I didn't notice it before, I've been like on and off meditating for like 5 years now. But the reason I didn't notice it before was because I was drinking so much fucking alcohol. That's going to take all my extra fucking
That was
sleep,
my same argument with when you were trying to be healthy, and I was like, you're getting blackout every weekend.
Yes, dude. Yes. But listen, if I'm tired and I meditate, I wake the fuck up because I don't know what it is, it just makes me less tired. But if I go like that day, last
goes
week,
back to like that suffering thing we're talking about, is how suffering actually makes you happier in the long end.
Yeah.
It's like meditating, you're not really sleeping, but you're like kind of grazing that edge where you're like between like conscious like observing thoughts and between like unconscious intrusive
Huberman
thoughts.
calls it NSDR, non-sleep deep rest. Which is basically what it is. You're sleeping, but you're not. Yeah. You're awake, but you're kind of in a sleep state.
Consciously awake, but consciously trying to not think, like not judge your thoughts and just let thoughts flow.
Yes. But last week, on
that makes you less tired.
Friday, I woke up at 3:28 in the morning, dude. Couldn't fall back asleep. Or no, I fell back asleep till like 4, and then I couldn't fall back asleep. So I ended up just getting up and going to the gym, right? Then the whole weekend, I was staying up late as fuck. Wasn't getting much sleep. That's why I was pretty drained yesterday. But then I meditated yesterday. I was fine. But I was meditating every day. That's what got me through it and made me not, like, obviously I was slamming caffeine. I do the shit I normally do. But caffeine doesn't even help me as much as the meditation has, is what's weird that I've found. And I think that it's like, and now that I'm in this routine of waking up at 4:30, I couldn't even do it before because I was so tired. And now I'm doing it just fine. And that could be giving up the alcohol or going to sleep early or whatever it is. But I think meditation has something to do with it. I don't think it's the only factor, but I think it's significantly helping me. Just being mindful of my thoughts. Even if you're just sitting there for like 5 minutes, just watching your thoughts go by.
I mean, I paid a guy to be my meditative breath coach. So that's a job that exists that a guy gets paid for, you know? So obviously it's worth fucking something if he's working at a legit institution that they give therapy at.
I wonder why we're not... See, what I was going to add on to what you said, finance, I completely agree with that being added into school. We need to be taught more about that.
Sooner, because it's in school.
Yes. Sooner and more in depth.
Just like math, because it's like, bro, there's levels to this shit. Cause there's
or English or PE, anything else. But also...
Imagine... Keep your thought, but imagine you go down deep enough in finance where, like, all right, maybe they can learn all this bullshit by, like, freshman year of high school. Well, in high school, what you could teach them with finance is how to make money with money.
Mm-hmm. They could be making money in high school.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I completely agree. But also, what I was going to say is what also should be added is behavioral, like, not behavioral practices.
How to deal with your feelings.
Exactly. Because I was being taught that in those special ed classes. Well, everybody should be taught that.
You had to get like kicked out of the normal school and go to a fucking alternative school.
And in Four Oaks, they were teaching me breath work and all these things. And I looked at it as fucking dumb because regular school, all these other things weren't doing it. Like, I remember... Like,
I had to go through therapy to find it.
Yeah, exactly. We have to go through these alternative ways. We have to fuck ourselves up so bad to the point where we have to find these alternative avenues like therapy and all these other things where they're going to teach us rather than being taught in the institutions that we are in.
Here's another problem. We pay the teachers like dog shit.
That's true, too.
So what's their incentive to ever want to have Kaizen about anything and be really passionate about a topic and getting better at teaching that for the rest of their life? When you pay them...
You know what it should be? It should be a salary hourly type thing. Like it should start off as a certain amount every year, right?
I think they're
But
salary.
they are, and that's what a salary is. It should start off like that, but then every year it increases by how you're doing with the children, because that's the teachers we remember, like the teachers that were there for us and helped us and actually like no
Shout
matter.
out Miss Rudy.
Shout out to fucking Miss Dana, dude. She was like my school mom, dude. I swear to God. But fucking these teachers, even getting paid dog shit, getting paid once a month, dude. They get paid once. Imagine getting paid once a fucking. How do you even? I was struggling bi-weekly.
Bro.
Once a fucking month, you get paid.
Teachers used to come into that shop. They can't pay for shit.
Exactly.
It's like crazy.
And despite all that, dude, they're still fucking there,
Yeah,
helping
they show up for
us,
kids.
showing us
They
the
deal
love.
with children.
Yes.
Every day.
Yes.
Or they deal with assholes that are like teenagers. Which
Yes.
is like even
Yes.
worse. Imagine your car fucks up.
See, but those are
And
the
the
ones.
shop calls you and is like, it's going to be $2,200. Do you have a payment plan? No. And you're like, fuck. And then you got to go deal with dickhead
Yeah.
16-year-olds that are driving around in their mom and dad's Yukon.
Oh, I didn't even think about it like that, dude.
That must suck. And you're getting paid half as much as that Yukon is worth
Then
per
this
year.
fucking teenage kid just comes in and completely disrespects your
Subwoofers.
classroom,
Fuck
disrespects
you. Yeah,
you.
yeah.
You're a fucking loser. You work in this school.
Cars in the shop. You walk to work
Oh, man.
that day. You're making $32,000 a year.
That adds on to what I was going to say, dude. That's why they get bitter. But
I
the
don't
thing
blame
is, the people who stay true to they get stressed out. Like Miss Dana would get stressed out, and she'd be like, "Oh, leave me the fuck alone. Like I don't want to talk to you guys right now. I'm overwhelmed." Like she'd tell us that,
Yep.
but then the next day it's just fucking fine. You know, those are like people like her. They're there for the kids. They're there to actually help the children and make better fucking people for this world. That's why they don't care about all these bullshit. Even though they're getting absolutely fucked. But those people who are getting bitter, they realize, oh, I'm getting fucked. I don't really even give a shit about these kids. I don't fucking want to be here anyway.
Well,
And that's why they're getting bitter. And maybe they cared about the kids at one point, but then you really like spend time with these
it's
kids.
just the archetype of a person. Because, yeah, on one hand, both of these people are getting fucked, right? But one of them shows up for the kids every day and is just like, we ball, man. We got to raise the next generation. The other one just gets bitter and makes those kids' lives worse. But I think the interesting case is the person who doesn't necessarily get bitter, but is kind of a dickhead of a teacher. You know the person? Like, not outwardly mean, but just kind of a dickhead.
Mhm.
The thing is they still stay working for a while. So are they staying for the kids, or are they just staying for, like, IPers? Are they just staying for their retirement at that point? Do they just become a teacher?
You get a lot of
because
good
it was
benefits
pay?
as a teacher.
Yeah, other than the fucking pay. You get a decent retirement.
Besides the pay,
IPers,
yeah. But you get good like health insurance and shit like that.
IPers is, like, the main reason people do that.
You're pretty much setting yourself up for retirement, but your entire life is slow and boring and
You gotta
shit.
deal with kids every day.
Yeah. So maybe that's why they stick it out. Because they're like, I know it's going to pay off in the long run.
Why are people cops, too, you know? Same sort of philosophy of, like, this job sucks ass. Why would people do this? It's like, some people do it, man.
Well, there's different reasons. Some people like the power. Some people actually want to help people.
Some people deserve, or some people think that they need to be treated that way. Some people think they want to be treated that way, deserve it.
I might have been a cop in another life.
I think I'm pretty close to a cop in another life, to be honest.
I think so, too.
I think I've had multiple people tell me to become a cop, and I'm like, no, dude.
The only thing that stops me is the laws that they have.
Well,
If, like, you could smoke weed and, like...
be a cop?
Yeah, I'd be a cop, probably.
Then we could just go to Illinois, so that's kind of a weak excuse.
Well, but... It's
nationwide,
nationwide. But I would be a cop. In, like, Arizona or something, I'd be a cop.
That's
as long as I don't have to fuck people over and stuff.
The one thing I think about, though, is just, like, the shit, though. Like, you think about pulling people over. Are you thinking about a kid killing himself in front of you?
That's
or, like,
true.
jumping off a bridge in front of you? Or are you thinking a guy pulling a gun
That's
on
the
you?
reason I wouldn't want
That's
to.
why you're like, I don't want to be a cop, bro.
I don't want to see that.
Yeah,
I gotta
like-
piss quick, dude. I can't lie.
Oh, no.
Let's talk about your day or something.
Oh, great, guys. Oh, man. I never know what to say, dude. Day was pretty good. Started a new job today. I left my old job, which is a good milestone for me because I think I truly hated that old job. I liked some of the people there, but I think I was truly unhealthy, and that wasn't good. But yeah, got a new job. I don't really want to say like the particular like dealership that it is, but it is at a dealership, and it's so much better. At my old job, I was in the car industry. You'd call me a technician, a service writer, a service advisor, parts manager, and like sales manager. It was all in one. And now I'm just going to be doing service advising, which is like service writing, service advising, kind of the same thing. That's pretty slick, and I like it. Shit's just going good, man. Been happier, doing self-love and shit. Shit's good, man. Feels good to be a gangster. He's back.
Dude, it's kind of wild that OnlyFans pays more than being a teacher or a doctor or...
You know what pays more than both of those, though?
What's that?
Being an OnlyFans teacher or an OnlyFans doctor.
That's true. Your mom started an OnlyFans.
Fuck you. I walked into that one, though, didn't
obviously, she's not gonna, and I wouldn't fucking pay for it. Let's say she did, I wouldn't. Just out of respect for you. But she would make... Like, she's making bank already. Your parents are chilling. Like, listen, Adams brought it up to me like this. What if, like, your girl does OnlyFans, but she starts it with you and only does it with you? Well, there's nothing, like, you guys are making money together. It's your guys' money, income. You got a breadwinner wife.
That's true.
Like, if your dad and mom did it, they would be making bank.
I'd be an absolute munch at that point.
Dude, that'd be kind of sick. If I had an OnlyFans wife, she's only doing it with me.
If baby girl got to FaceTime a couple of dudes for me to get a Corvette, she gonna FaceTime. All right, we could talk about it later.
I wish I had that superpower, to be honest. You just send a fucking foot pic, dude, and you get like $60. Like, come on now.
I could be sad about it, but I'm gonna be sad about it.
Dude, I would be way depressed, but I'm
gonna be depressed in a Corvette.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be in a goddamn mansion depressed as fuck.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Rich and sad, baby. Post Malones.
I saw a meme today that said, it's a guy crying, and it said, with all these challenges God throws at me, I hope the next challenge is a shit ton of money.
That's pretty good.
Give me another challenge. Give me a shit ton of money. I'll deal with the problem.
Give me your darkest challenge, God.
I feel like if we work hard enough, I gotta believe that, dude. Because if we don't believe that, what the fuck do we
might as well
believe?
just pull the plug at this point.
That's what I'm saying. There has to be a certain point where if we are consistent through every year of our lives, I mean, obviously we're gonna fuck up. Yeah. We're gonna make some mistakes.
I just want to stack bread until I'm happy. I'm not saying I want to be a billionaire.
Exactly.
I just want to be like, have a house, have I think 2 cars, and have a good amount of stability, good emergency fund, the Caleb Hammer basics, you know.
My life, dude, I want a ranch house.
My life,
I want
my
a fucking
rules.
nice truck.
Nice truck would be nice.
Hot wife that is good with kids.
What's his name?
And I want a lot of kids, probably. Okay. However many my wife will let me have.
Throw out a ballpark number. Off the top of your head, throw out a ballpark number.
30. I don't give a fuck, dude. I want an army.
Holy shit, that's like, you're going to be with...
That's why I like, my brain was like, you need a wife now, dude.
That's like... I mean, if you went as fast as possible, that's probably like 26 years worth of kids right there or something like that. Because that's like every like 9, 10-ish months.
What if I have twins or quintuplets?
You're going to have twins every time?
I hope so, dude. That? I don't know.
If you have twins every time, you better sell that sperm, dude. Because you like guaranteed twin sperm?
Yeah, that'd be nuts.
Holy shit.
But that and then like...
Guaranteed twin sperm should be the title for this one.
Dude, I don't even need money. If, like, I have a ranch house, I'm broke. I'm, like, got $0 in my bank account. Like, I got nothing. But I got power because I'm off the grid. I've got fucking food, water that I'm growing and getting out of a creek or something or a well. If I got all the things I need, I don't give a fuck if I have a dime.
The money is like a false sense of stability.
Yeah.
Once you're off the grid and you're, like, sustainably off the grid, which is crazy because sustainably off the grid is kind of saying something. You can't really drive off the grid. Well, kind of, because like, well, you could go into town and get like oil and shit, because you don't necessarily need diesel to run some diesel motors when they're tuned. You could run it off like fryer oil and like vegetable oil and shit. So I wonder if you could make that run diesel trucks off of bullshit.
And if I'm in a place where it's legal to grow hemp, you can run it off hemp oil.
Holy shit!
That's a good ass move. And then you can run you can get a diesel truck, run it off
diesel
hemp
generators,
oil, dude. And then you just grow weed every year. Easy fucking, and if it's fucking warm, year round.
So what are we still sitting here waiting around for?
That's why I've had a farm idea for so long, dude.
You remember that blueprint I showed you when we were first becoming friends?
Yes, you've had the same
idea. That
idea.
was a deep pull, I forgot.
Because it's a genius move, dude.
Yeah.
It literally just makes sense. Like, all we do
well,
is
it makes
fucking...
sense because that's like peak human. Like if you go back to
not just that, but look what we're doing, dude.
Yeah. It's
every single day we go to a place we don't even really want to be at. Like even if it's a job that you enjoy.
Outside a lot.
I like my job, and I'm happy for the opportunity. But it's not a place I like. If I could choose, dude, I'd be fucking in the woods somewhere getting paid to do that. I'd be fucking hunting mushrooms and fucking with a dog or something that I'm fucking attached to by the hip. I want my dog to be my best fucking friend. But like what were we talking about? Fuck.
Living off the grid like that, just having a peaceful life.
Yeah. Every day we go to this place for money. To get the thing, to get this house, to get fucking food, to get all the things we need to survive. And we don't even have enough money to do things we enjoy.
Maybe that's why we got to keep going back for money all the time, is because we are not sustainable in the slightest.
That's exactly what I told my niece, dude.
So like we spend all the money on surviving so we can get enough money to hopefully survive. You know?
Exactly. My niece texted me today, can you take me to Sephora? I'm like, dude, I'm not going to Mason to take you to Sephora. And she's like, well, I said I'm not even off work yet, and she's like, when you get off, can you take me? And then I said that, and I'm like, I was like, well, she sent me a picture of it, and I'm like, get $18, and then we'll go. And she's like, dude, seriously, I don't even have $18. I was like, what makes you think I do? Which I do have $18, but what makes you think I do? And she's like, I don't know. And I was like, this is what I told her, dude. We work every day because we don't have enough money to not work. That's why we work. If we had enough money to not work, you wouldn't be stressing as much as you were. You wouldn't even be here.
That's true.
You'd be somewhere else.
You also got to tell her, but it is good that she's asking because she don't know if she don't ask. So if she never asks,
well, I told her. Like I didn't say it like a mean ass way. I said that I'd take her. Like when I have the money and I have the time and I see her, I'll take her.
That's true. You can't go from Northwood to Mason to go to Sephora to spend money.
$20 and then take her back home.
Yeah, you should just imagine you going to Sephora and buying something by yourself. That's essentially what you're doing. Yeah.
But it's extra steps because I got to pick
drop
somebody
it off
up.
At Tony and Thomas's. Yeah.
Well, I got to pick somebody up.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck I'm going for. And on top of that, dude, the last time I went to a makeup store with my fucking niece, dude, we went for one thing, it turned into 5, and we stayed in the store for an hour, and she talked to 6 people, and that is not an over-exaggeration.
Nope, that is what happens.
She fucking talked to every single employee she saw, and, like, she'd be like, because I didn't know what she was looking for, she didn't know where it was. So she asked a couple people, then they started getting everybody else, and then they're all like, oh, she's adorable, which she is adorable.
Meanwhile,
but
you're
come
looking
on,
at your
dude.
wallet like that.
That, and I'm like, dude, we've been here for like fucking 20 minutes. With this, we were supposed to come get one thing. That's what it always turns into. That's probably how your sister will be too. But she has her own money and shit. Your sister's pretty smart.
Yeah, she still suckers me into it. Because she'll be like, I didn't bring my wallet.
It's a good business move.
Right, here's 20, bro. Her and my dad did that to me. I had to pay for them to get into the flea market, and then Mira conned me at the flea market.
Really?
Yeah, but I let it happen. I wanted it to happen.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Especially like me. I'm only seeing them so often, so I'm like, all right.
The way I look at it, dude, when I help my dad or something like that, is that fucking I have more time on this planet than they do. That's why I don't like taking help from my grandparents or my dad or anybody else either. Because I have my own amount of time on this planet to do what I need to do. Why am I going to take, whether it's a lot or not, like the Zin I just took from you, that is a deficit, whether it's a huge deficit or not. That one Zin would have been a Zin you had later. And if I'm doing that to somebody who has less time on the planet than me, dude, that just fucks with me. Because it's like my dad.
You think of it as like a butterfly effect? Like
yeah, it's like.
Took something out of the energy of it?
Yes, because they only have a certain amount. And then on top of that, my grandma and grandpa are 70 years old. Why would I let a 70-year-old who's got, at most, let's say they live to 100, 110, let's be generous. 110, they got 40 years left. Yeah. I've got fucking, let's say I live to 110. I've got fucking 100 years left.
Yeah.
Or like fucking 90 years left. I've got a lot of time.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Sorry.
No, you're good. What were you talking about before you said that part, though?
taken from getting conned into it. We were talking about.
Oh yeah. That's cool.
You were talking about getting naked and doing weird stuff with your dog.
Nope.
You want to go smoke?
I'm down. Did we hit our criteria?
Yeah, we're at an hour 20.
All right. Guaranteed twin sperm.
Guaranteed twin sperm. Love you guys. Bye.